deep, 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 deep. You playing the promo? The deep, deep. Okay, okay, and we want to say welcome to this platform. This is the Deep National Hour. Deep is the Democracy Empowerment for Economic Progress. Deep is a civil rights nationalistic organization propagating the true sense of nationalism and the call to national duties. Deep goal is to Liberianize Liberia and ensure Liberia becomes an industrialized state with its citizens being economically empowered irrespective of their status, their tribe, political affiliation, religious, educational background. So you can follow us up on the Deep National Hour Facebook page. That is the DEEP National Hour Facebook page. And then you'll be able to go along. We want to say that you can join on. Again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassama the first. I'm the Executive Director of the Democracy Empowerment for Economic Progress, DEEP, a civil rights nationalistic organization. As a nationalist, we have our national duties to perform. So during this time where people are resting and some are in a celebrative mood, we have come to play our own national duty. Deep want to see a Liberia of opportunities for Liberians, not a Liberia of opportunities with Liberians and non-Liberians at equal range, or we have non-Liberian becoming more wealthier and more successful in Liberia than Liberians. So Deep wants to see a land of opportunities for Liberians and a land where the rule of law will be adhered to by both Liberians and those and all those that are dwelling in this country. Okay, so Deep was set into motion as an action-based nationalistic organization to ensure that Liberia becomes a great nation and proves itself as God blessed nation in Africa to deep nationalistic activities. Deep wants all Liberians to stand up to their national duties and transform our country. So we will be looking at today a true sense of nationalism and a call to national duties. The first question we ask ourselves is what is nationalism? You know, most often people mix nationalism and patriotism to be the same. Um, it's easier for someone to be a patriot because that has to do with the duties you have to perform to your country. But when we talk about being nationalistic, it means that deep love that you have for your country. And don't necessarily you don't perform a duties because you are asked to. You perform a duty because you love your country. So we will be discussing a component of how we can show our love for our country and some of the things we have kind of gotten into ask ourselves questions like do we really resemble some of the things we have used or we stay whole as symbolistic example of who we are. Now we have this called our flag. Our flag has three colors. Those three colors should be a direct representation of the society. Unfortunately, In the context of what we will be discussing today, you will get to understand how we are very, very far away from the true essence of the colors we bear. So we will look at a major contributing factor, to the impoverishment of citizens and the underdevelopment of our country, our Liberian society, which can not only be attributed to mass corruption and lack of love for this country by past and current officials of government, but Liberians' inability to perform their national responsibility called national duties. Most often people allow few individuals to run the state of affairs of this country, and Liberians themselves feel that everything about laws being adhered to by the country should be done by government. The practices and implementation should be done by government. So the entire country of more than 5 million persons will want to rest less than 2% of the population to do the entire work that 5 million persons should perform. Um, we will see why we say that the underdevelopment of our country and the status of our country down in the international community can not only be attributed to our corrupt officials of government, present and past, but can also be contributed to Liberians, how Liberians see themselves, how they conduct themselves. All right. Um, a typical Liberian person has little or no knowledge about his or her civil rights and responsibilities. We are not teaching citizens to know their rights, to know their responsibility to the country. If a citizen does not know that he or she is on obligation to ensure that the laws of this country are adhered to both by the official of government in themselves, even including all those who are residents of this country. So we will see laws being breached in our faces, in the faces of Liberians, but they will do nothing and expect government be counting on government to come and do it because they have not been taught their national responsibility. If every citizen in this country understand his or her responsibility, you will now be putting everything on government to ensure it happens. Because you will understand that even government can err, officials of government can make mistakes, or it could be deliberate. But you, the citizen, will not sit there and allow a few group of corrupt individuals to just mess the entire country up, and you sit there and just talk and do nothing. Because when you understand your national responsibility, like what is being seen in other countries, you will see that the laws of those countries are not only implemented by officials of government, because officials of government will never ever be everywhere. But the citizens are being grown into the law. They understand that responsibility. They understand that duties to their country. They understand what are those things they are under obligation. But the fact that they are citizens of that nation, they must ensure happens. But the government have chosen to have stolen those things from its citizens over the past time and current to make sure that citizens are limited to understand the inner working of government, the functions of government, and how we can be able to follow up and make sure government does the right thing. There are lots of things, and we'll be discussing a lot of things that if we do not stand up as a nation and just keep counting on few individuals to do it for us, it means that regardless of the country being going through 176 years of existence, we will also be going for another 100 years and we'll always be at the bottom of everything. Take for an example, we are carrying the flag of Liberia, which represents that this is a sovereign, independent country. Liberia joins 28 other countries to carry the flag red, white, and blue. Among the 29 countries that carry that flag or fly it, Liberia is the least. And the behavior pattern of citizens do not represent the true meaning of red, white, and blue. If I should give you some countries that you hear that are using red, white, and blue, America, Russia, Great Britain, you will see that those countries are far developed. The citizens are complicated. They do not depend on government to do everything for them. They ensure that government does what is on obligation to do, because the fundamental of a government is the formation by the people. Let's look at something. The preamble of the Liberian Constitution says that exercising Liberians' natural and inherent inalienable rights to establish a framework of government for the purpose of promoting unity. The structure of a government begins with the citizens. The citizens must be able to get up, understand what it means to have a government, understand what it means to select or elect somebody to governance. And based on that, the society itself will set standards. Who becomes what in government? The society built a system called meritocracy, that only the best brains should enter government, meaning there must be standards. Standards on who should enter government, who should lead. Not everybody, because you are a citizen of a nation, you should take all the mantle and become a leader, a representative, a senator, president, or ministers, superintendent. No, it doesn't work that way, because it's a multilateral investment. A country always runs as a corporation. You need people with certain managerial skills to enter government to be able to help the citizen build that skills, that after that comes that system leaves, and you still have strong brain, strong society, strong individuals that are capable of ensuring that the country progressive from one state to another. But almost everything that this country has engaged in over the past 176 years, this country is not ranked among the top in those things. Not at all. We work and started democracy in Africa. So it means that we should have a high standard of public administration in our country, that other countries in Africa that came around the 60s, 70s, they could learn from us. They could borrow from us. But our country has not shown that it even got independence in the 60s. Not to even speak about 1847 or 1822, when you started a form of governance. You have your education system that started around 1900, talking about 1862, 1889, somewhere around there, and you produce the 5th and 6th oldest universities in Africa at that time. Other countries that came in around the 60s, the 50s, the 60s, and 70s, they are ranked among the best 200, the best 100, the best 50, far above Liberia, that no university in Liberia is part of the best 200 in Africa. What's wrong with this country? You started economics. You became ranked among the second. Right now, where are you in terms of GDP? You have one of the lowest national budget in Africa. It tells you that there is something fundamentally wrong with the foundation of this country. And it cannot be placed on one set of individuals. Yes, you say government officials are corrupt, but where are they from? They are from the community. They are from the family. Do you have a strong standards Do you have those strong standards in the family? Are parents actually training out the kids in the way they should go, that in fulfillment of scripture, that when they get older, they can deviate? Do we rather have discipline in our society to bring out good individuals that will matriculate into higher university and end up in government? Do we have that? No. Discipline is not in the society. So people who come from all the society and enter into government, they will be completely indisciplined. We are still in our educational system. We don't have education system, we have educational sector. Okay, I'll take a time on another occasion to talk about the difference between an educational system and an educational sector. So, but just by them hearing the word system, you can know that we don't have a system in our educational framework, because it's easy for students to promote themselves. It's easy for teachers to just get students living from one level to another level. It's easy to get qualified teachers in the classroom. It's easy to have schools that don't have books and are giving degrees out. So you see a lot of mess in our entire sector. So it means that the performance of our officials of government is not just the end result. It has to do with the foundation. We are not setting the requisite standards from the foundation. We should have a culture. A culture, if you have your country based on culture, we should call your national identity. You'll be able to promote values and morals. We don't have that around here, simply because we have not chosen to behave like an organized group of people existing as a society, state, or a country. So at the end result, we say that the only way we can turn our society around, except we have a strong, radical, educated nationalist to serve as a leader. Because this country has gone so far from the true reality of life. We will look at a lot of things in our discussion. You know, it's easy to play the blame game, but it is difficult for you to actually identify the problem, because the entire country does not even have a national agenda. It's just like you have, a group of people who call themselves educated, organized, going for a major meeting. Unfortunately for them, they don't have an agenda. So they talk across the table or the floor. That's how Liberia runs. Every government comes with his manifesto, normally that is just empty, come and say things that they are far from, make promises that they know they lack even the intellectual capacity to perform it, before talking about the financial capacity. But because they have succeeded in making the society weak, paralyze the activities of the society, get citizens not to understand their nationalistic responsibility. Because if you are at school, you know those things that you should do, those things that you should benefit from. You will not be doing these kind of things. If the citizens are trained that every government should perform these tasks, in the absence of doing that, it is the citizen rights to move on government to ensure that those things that government should do, they do it. That way you consummate it with what we call our symbolistic item called flag. When you look at the flag of Liberia, you see that we have a color called red. And what red stands for is the continuous. It means that government, the citizen, it means that the citizen will continuously engage government to ensure that every member of the government operates under the law and are prioritizing the interests of the people politically, economically, socially, and spiritually. When you hear continuously, it means that to be a part is just like those of you in the religious environment. As Christians, we are under obligation to continuously pray. Okay? Say praying without ceasing. Those are lessons that we can grab from. That if this country must change, the citizen must continuously be engaged. Other than that, there's no need to have what we call a flag that is red. Okay? A flag that is red. So if we should consider the colors of our flag, then it means that we should consider how we conduct ourselves. All right? We should consider how we conduct ourselves. So, coming back to look at our nationalistic responsibility, we say a tropical Liberian has little or no knowledge about his or her and the rights and responsibility. Okay? Of government. How many Liberians really know the functions or how many ministries we have, that responsibility, if you have certain situation, which ministry to run to, what to do? Many Liberians don't know. The only popular idea they have is to vote. But are they properly informed, educated on how to vote? Okay, you have all kinds of invalid votes. Who to vote for? What do you look for in a candidate? They are not educated to that. Yet, you want them to make sound judgment in the absence of quality education. There is no record of successful countries in the world that are poorly educated. All successful countries are highly educated, and in that education, they teach the culture, because education rejuvenates the culture, the values, the morals. But we don't do it here. And we expect to compare this country with other countries, and while those things are happening well, we on the contrary. So tell, are you doing department for research to understand why we are behaving the way we are? You don't have any department that is involved in strategic and tactical planning. You don't have institutions in the country that conduct research on conflict, society, economic issue, political issue. Have you conducted research on what caused the Civil War in the first place? Have you? No. Have you conducted research on electoral behavior? No. Have you conducted research on poor governance? Why you after long years of existence, you still have
impoverished society, Liberia listed among the 5 poorest? No. You don't love education? Because if you must even dramatize that you even love education, you don't even have a group of guys called themselves representative that will just pass the issue of war crime code with that kind of speed without going to conduct research to know the implication it has, the pros and cons, developing contact theses, and things that require research to look at whether it has some potential conflict. I know if that what would be remedy, looking at conflict resolution, conflict management, conflict analysis, all those things can be looking at whether it's prudent to be to institutionalize a war crime code today or what's the thing. Look, our informed society has very small chance of errors. But the reason why the society keep making errors is because instead we do things on connected investigation, we do things on emotional response. We become things that require critical thinking and analytical employment. We use emotion and sentiment to run through them. You're making decision that is so critical, so difficult to make. In Liberia, it's so easy. So easy. When some of my students got at the master program, got to understand what it means when talking about the decision-making process, the 6 steps. And before you even talk about a managerial ability, first of all, you'll be looking at whether you even have the 3 major managerial skills. How proficient are you in the use of the 4 major functions of a manager? You have a lot of complexity. You know the reason why you'll see somebody using so much muscle to do work, get little salary, and somebody sits in an office and do more connective work and make more money? Because conceptual skills are so expensive. They're not ordinary labor. So when you have people in offices that lack these skills, technical skills, that's why if you look at the American society that you always want to reference, you look at the American society, you will feel disappointed so much about yourself. So much. Okay? You feel disappointed about yourself. The American society is not prepared to fail. They are not prepared to fail. So they are very, very careful on who they elect to their government. Okay? Don't just go and just elect everybody because you are a citizen of America, so you can be, you can be considered come serve. No. Research shows that 94% of U.S. representatives, okay, 94% of U.S. representatives, and all but one, are all experienced college credential holders. I don't think you got that. The American society don't want to work for $500 US for a month. So because they have high standard and expectation, they elect people that have higher qualification, sophistication to lead them. So they don't take everybody and everybody. For the U.S. Senate, it will amaze you to know that all senators are all credentials holder. Very experienced, highly educated, experiences the brought to the House of Senate. They call it House of Elders. If the American society is very, very careful on who they elect, looking at your qualification. Why were they not just, this man is good, he can talk, he can advocate, they put anybody there. But they must look for 100%. 100%. Every senator, 100%. Highly sophisticated individuals and make them senators. And you want to be, you're talking about, you want to compare Liberia with America in terms of how they live, you are doing yourself injustice. You can sing and say, paralyze our law. You kill, we'll vote for you. That society will not do that. You say, but will vote for you. That society will not do that. You say that even if you lay down the casket, will still vote for you. That society will not do that. How will you be in the opposite direction and want to get what people in the opposite direction gets? Is that real? You can be joking and other people are very serious and attentive, and you want the both of you to end the same place. How's that possible? But the citizens themselves will not get there until they pick up a leader that will get tough on them to do the right thing, know the right thing, be the right thing. That's why we say it's important to have a strong, radical, educated nationalist to be a leader. Then they will make you to understand that life is not easy. So people should be able to get strong and be prepared to face it. But when you're making people to feel that, you can do it for them, life is easy, and they will be give them a lot of promises, and they expect to sit, and those promises come into reality in their life. When they see it, they get frustrated, it's because you are lying to them. The world is getting very difficult today, and only the strong can make it. No country will come and make you successful, my brother and sister. You have been friendly with America for 176 years. Still, you can learn that America can put money all over your pocket. You have not even impressed the American, even look at you and give you $500 million. Other countries are receiving far higher than that. It means that you make the American to even feel that you are not even qualified to even receive $500 million from them. Before talking about developing this country, you think you have your almost over 60%, that's 70% of your budget going for salary and other equipment, other things, and you expect less than 30% or less than even far less than that to bring development in your country. You see next door neighbor here, you're going to go big Africa, where almost everywhere in Africa have electricity. You want to go big Ghana? Almost everywhere have electricity. People using water. Where in your country, your director and ministers and everybody stay taking about in buckets? You think that life is an easy thing? That you can just make decisions because of emotion, being sentimental? You gotta face reality. You have done that for so many years. You have not been careful with your decision. Yet, you are not stating and saying, where are we going wrong? You are going wrong with the decision you make in life. I listened to the current president's State of the Nation address. It was so elementary in terms of how can you revolutionize this country. It means you're going nowhere. You're going nowhere. Did the society take notice that certain things, if they are not captured in your policy statement, it means the country cannot go anywhere? No. Why? The society is now built to that level. It's not built. If the government will continue to limit what the capacity of a citizen, what they should learn, what they should know. Look, there are lots of indicators that tell you that the government do not really, prioritize its citizens. If you see your government will come around you when they need your vote, but when it comes to power, they bring people from outside. It means that they know there are certain fundamental things wrong about what you learn in this country. There is nobody listening to me today will tell you that your credential is saying higher than credential from outside. When people come with credential from outside, they subvert your credential. That is a message that there is something wrong about our society that we have not taken note of. We say some of these things, but we don't investigate it. We don't have research institution. All the mistakes that were made from the 70s, the 80s, that led all into the 1989 war, all the words that we have not even researched to write books on it where our the younger ones can read. Some of them didn't even understand what war is. If you talk about chaos and calamity, they see it as something that they can celebrate. They are doing it. They're not doing it. Any decision the people make, they're doing it on limitation. You can't hold them responsible for that. If your society is not sophisticated, anything they do not hold them responsible for that. Out of limitation, they will always do those things over and again and again and again. You say that people are voting on party line, voting on tribal line, voting on family line, voting on friend line. They will keep doing those things until they get the information that will transform their lives. And you get it from where they go learn that ABC all the way to college. A country is built on the information you give your citizenry. A poorly educated person can settle for anything. A hard will never ever settle for anything. Just simple. So what they do is they give you as a pacifier symptom. They give you things that you feel that they are actually charitable, but they are not. People are celebrating high school graduation. You gave them communication, they cannot do it. People are setting college graduation. If you tell them, say that create a counter thesis, just make a simple statement. They cannot do it. Doing a concept paper, they cannot do it. Yet they are graduating with college degree and other things. It means that with the limitation they have, how do you intend to carry them higher? Some good students here is there because they do extra research to tell you the power of research. Some teachers, especially the state university, they have so many classes to conduct. So some they point get assignment and it can end that particular class and people get grades at the college level. It means you just lying to people. Why are you lying to them? You're damaging the society. That's what we're doing in this country. Because they are afraid that by getting these people to know that national responsibility through the quality of education they get, to know that a country should run on a national identity, that identity that is nationalized, it should be only for citizens. Because you have those symbolistic objects all over the place, your passport, your citizen ID card, your voter card. But today in Liberia, the people are not taught. So you have anybody can have Liberia passport, Liberian ID card, citizen ID card. They can have the voter card. You can have everything just easy in this country. I will talk much more to tell you how weak they have brought this country. That you have laws on the book that tell people how much to make as salary. They can make it, but the society keeps seated. They keep seated. You get law that said the least for 8 hours in the formal sector should be $145 more for 8 hours. How many stores in the country can work for 8 hours? The least will be 10 hours overtime. If they are not even paying you what you need for the 8 hours, then what's about overtime? I mean, it's all just a mess. But the society is not built to resist that kind of thing. You need a strong worker leader that will say hell to some of these things and say, look, let's put an end to these things. You think they concessions, people, they don't know that you're weak. They know that you're weak. They know that your country is weak. So they will intentionally do things deliberately, breach the law, because they know that you don't only need to set up few individuals and it is well. The citizen itself is weak. It's not capable of saying no, and it means no. No, Liberian society is not built. We have to build a society that when you see wrong, you're able to stand there and stop it as a citizen and not waiting for government. You move from here, you go to other countries to go do business. The government will not even come to you. It is the citizen themselves that will squeeze you out and tell you that that business is not for you to be doing. The citizen himself will squeeze you. They will torment you. But today in Liberia, when you see store, a foreigner. When you see makeshift, a Liberians. In where? Their country. Wholesale, a foreigner. Retail, that's foreigner plus Liberians in their country. Do you have union or association for it? Yes. Why that capacity? Weakest. Do you match it with your flag? Do you know what it means to carry blue in your flag? Blue means that you are brave. Blue means that you stand for justice. That if the wrong things are taking place, you can stand up and ensure that it works the right way. Rather than seated and complaining and hoping a Messiah will come and do it for you. Even if a Messiah comes and does it, will the Messiah continuously doing it, or is your responsibility to pick it up and then go for? You have a society. Let me tell you ideas on what it means to have war crime code. How many person has on diplomacy? How many person understand international law? How many person has even the functionary of the war crime code? How many person people that feel that just something they come go get at certain people? Yes, because that's how the society is built. That's how the society is built. If this was an educated society, that particular bill or whatsoever will be in the public domain among the academics, the academicians. They'll be discussing it from every angle, creating different concepts and theories to ensure that by the time the country takes an action, that action will not have an adverse effect on the country. Because sensible people take time to take action. Fools always rush into things. That's why you see that wise people are slow to talk. Because when you talk, you relieve the information in your head. When you listen, you add information to your head. In the Western world, every entrepreneur or successful business managers and other things, they really carry the 40 books every year. Calculate. If you read 30 books every year, calculate 10 years, you're talking about 300 books, 300 to 400 books you're talking about. Isn't it? Yeah. It means that you have more than 200 person ideas in your head. No wonder why the people make hundreds of millions of dollars. We don't read. We don't love reading. So newspaper cannot sell in this country? No. You decide to write books, my friend. Except it's used for textbooks purpose, then you just get a care. But if it's used for textbooks purpose, maybe only one or two person will just come and purchase it, and everybody will use photocopy. And your books will be seated there. Do we have standards? We don't have standards. How can we correct these things? We will go through this over and again. So we will take a short break and then we come back, lay the platform, and give you an opportunity to be able to put in your input. We take a short musical break. level managerial or administrative positions in every organization or business operating in Liberia is occupied by qualified Liberians. This law should make it mandatory that Liberians be given first preference to all jobs at every level. On the provision of 50% senior managerial jobs be given to Liberians, and all middle level and lower level jobs be exclusively reserved for Liberian employment. Why should Liberians suffer for jobs in their country while non-Liberians are enjoying good jobs and good salaries? Deep says this must not. Deep is also advocating for confidence in government on elected and appointed positions. Deep is also calling on government to enact laws that will ensure that the minimum college credential for any appointed or elected position is a Bachelor of Arts degree from a reputable university or college in Liberia. These are two of the 5 nationalistic bills Deep stands for. Let's join Deep for Liberia's transformation. No one can change this country for the best, for Liberians, but Liberians. With God in home with us, our call for unity in the transformation of Liberia to better our lives will be a life struggle until it comes to pass. The voice of Executive Director of the Democracy and Empowerment for Economic Progress, Deep Abraham Gassama Celebrate.
Okay, so we will okay, trying to see how we can get the number to take your participation. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to explore the male instill there and also the traveling families across the country. You know, these are things that have to be taught in school from the elementary level, even to junior level, high school. You have to know who you are as a citizen, your duty and responsibility. And when you get to public office, you should know what yourself are going to serve the public have to serve yourself. So we should ask them, we'll be with them, listen to them, also in the communities and other places. To the point that even when election times come, who to vote for, don't vote for that person because of maybe party motive or maybe nationalistic. Or vote for the person for the betterment of the nation. But don't go on to thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We'll pick up another person on the line. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, your name is from where you join us?
This is Josh Walker call from Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let me commend, your co-host, his speak my mind. So how can government go, government come, and the citizens still remain poor? Something wrong with the fundamental, you know, thinking of the people. I was thinking the people are in poverty. If your mind is better, you will not be poor. You will continue to be rich. But the genuine of the Liberian people is what helps us at the end. How can even those who started from the US, they come and they don't bring in mind the individual is drinking, building the mind of the people. But there's no good foundation. The hawk can crush. That's what happened to the country. Liberia did not have foundation from the beginning. You know?
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, we can pick up at least two more pressing 0775 027776. Just call to make a contribution here on the program Deep National Hour on Truth FM. All right. Good evening.
What is it?
Yeah, your name and from where you are.
I'm speaking to you from Amos here.
Go ahead.
Just to commend your guest. This man really made money. I wish we would have had in Nigeria such a great hero that would be able to educate us in Nigeria. Really, he said, oh, look at the number of years that Nigeria now has existed. And we continue the same route. 176 years, we are not going anywhere. Just doing one thing over and over, and we continue surely to be getting the same result. It is true. I hope that this man will continue with this program. We shouldn't stop. Some of us will see out that this program will be supported. Because I think we set it all for us at Liberia and even for our unborn children. We must take after this man. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. We got a very last person on the line. Hello, your name and from where you are.
Yeah, hello, sir. This is James Esfeme, and I call from Grandmaster County to the branch of Ania, precise Ukraine Township.
Yeah, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I got your program at the middle, and I listened to what the teacher, I can call him, I was saying. You see, this is what we do in this country. They walk around, we are not thinking. People in other countries will say, oh, have we investigated? How did they do it? When did they do it? How they get to where they are? But put your flag, I don't know how small you are coming in the battle. It will come and manage the battle. Oh, that children come and saw today. We the same people now calling for work. But we didn't say that I actually investigate why work will be doing. So at least we have to get people who will be teaching, or at least we hope that this will not be because of some political interest. Maybe we should continue so that at least our younger ones coming will learn that we can transform. Thank you for the program. We will continue.
Okay, thank you so much. We are not picking any more call. We have to go back to Ibrahim the Saman Silu. All right, you listening to the callers, Chief?
You see, one thing I will always say, and I'll keep saying, if you want a country to go forward, you don't need few individuals call themselves officials. You need a society to understand its own existence, what it is. Look, if your family must succeed, it means that every member of that family should be able to sit down continuously and discuss what the family hopes to achieve. This is not done in our country. You gotta ask yourself a couple of questions. How can the country run with all the citizens themselves knowing your true national identity?
How can you run a country with the citizens themselves not knowing their national responsibility, national duties? How do you run a country with all the society not knowing the national agenda of this particular country? How do you honestly run a society when the citizens do not even know what it means to carry the flag? That's the reason why people don't even respect the flag, because they have not been taught. Every color of that flag has a very important significance in the life of the country that carries that color. It will be back on this platform to provide a lot of information. We will look at the business, we'll look at the job, we will look at our educational sector, we'll look at various areas that our country needs to pay attention to if we must change this country. If we cannot change the way the society behaves, changing government will only be a reflection of how the society behaves. There's a common saying that the government is a reflection of the society. If you have a corrupt government, it means the society is corrupt. If you have a strong-minded society and leadership, it means the society is strong. Again, we will come back here and be back here and be back here. You can follow us up on the Deep National Hour Facebook page, DEEP. Go to Deep National Hour Facebook page. You can also follow us up on FM on Friday, 5 o'clock, and on OKFM on Sunday, 5 o'clock. Again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Gassama Sulu I. I'm the Executive Director of the Democracy and Empowerment for Economic Progress, a civil rights nationalistic organization. As a nationalist, we are interested in transformation of our country, with every citizen being a part of it. The economic empowerment of our country is important, but it's contingent on the level of information we have in our heads and the decision those information can help us to make. Until I come back your way again, there's the Deep National Hour. You can just follow us on our page and share it as many times as possible. We want you to subscribe, be a part of the movement, so that we all can work together and transform our country. That go to DEEP, Deep National Hour, Deep National Hour. Again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Gassama Sulu, the Executive Director in Nationalists, and we'll be back again. God bless you until we meet again. I'm Dr. Sulu.